The advocacy for women's digital inclusion as well as in the political landscape is you just get tired of women being left behind all the time. You get tired of women not having a seat at the table.
Digital literacy is low on the continent. Even something as simple as having access to the use of digital payments, something that could transform families, the lives of women and girls, and you see that there isn't as much engagement in that area.
Technology has become, or the internet has become a human right? That everything that we do to communicate, to find solution is being done onto the internet. It's evident that the technology is an enabler, particularly for women in political spaces.
I like the fact that technology is here to stay. I like the fact that these days civil society organizations are already working to make it more inclusive, to get to areas where it hasn't gotten to.
As we know, many women that are political leaders face the brunt of gender-based violence online. My greatest source of strength would be seeing young women reshape the political discourse in political spaces. What initially sparked my interest in women's digital and political inclusion was when President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf was elected as the first elected female head of state in Africa.
I'd go to a management meeting or a board meeting and someone would tell me, "Young girl, go get the tea." It was such a shocker. And I was like, surely I would rant about it to my friends and all that, but it didn't feel very productive because she was just ranting. And in my mind, I was like, surely this must be, I'm not the only one who's experiencing this. This seems to be like a norm. So I just simply made like a post and, shared my heart and said, if you're keen, let's meet up. And a couple of people showed up and that's how it started.
So over the years, you just get tired of women being sidelined, not being included. You're talking about percentage and you're having like 5%, 10% in something that can go as high as 30 to 40%. So let me just say the exhaustion that aside gender inequality that is all happening, pushing the women to the curve, you just get tired of it and you want to do something to spark a change, you want to do something to make a difference in the little way you can.
In terms of the barriers is the time it requires from me as a person who's just interested in technology and society, as well as the resources and getting as many people to engage in this topic as possible. My heart always feels so much for women and girls in rural areas, and as a person that sits in the city, I always feel very limited in engaging with them and really sort of help them understand the opportunities but also the challenges.
As a woman working in the political space, the issue of tokenism, I think that especially earlier in my career, there were some colleagues that felt comfortable having a woman with a high level of political decision-making role, but they rather you be tolerated than really listened to, especially times when I was acting as the minister. The way that I navigated that was just to first feel confident that I know what I'm doing, make sure that I did not fall into imposter syndrome, and allow my work to speak for itself.
Women are already taking bold steps. If we approach, maybe we're advocating for something, for instance, and the door gets shut against us, the next thing is to use tech. And the funny thing is that if you can control the traditional ways of passing information and advocacy, maybe you ask for a meeting, you don't get that meeting. You ask for a seat, you don't get a seat. The next thing is to use technology platform, the one nearest to you. You can use it to communicate the same thing that you'd communicate in physical meetings and all of those things.
I envision technology as an enabler of women's political participation in my community. The best way to me is through greater access, affordability, and knowledge. And I really believe that starts at the primary level.
Technology possibly is the best tool that is available for women in political spaces, political and visible spaces, to connect with others, right? In 2025, Namibian women in political spaces, whether at grassroots level or at national level, should be able to be engaging with others at wherever they are in the world. And that quicker accessibility, I think, that ease of accessibility empowers women in political spaces, but also visible spaces to create changes within their society.
Be a catalyst for younger women so that they can have greater opportunities in the political and digital space.
Take it easy, continue like working hard and putting your best foot forward, but it's gonna be okay.
It's okay to fall, but when you fall, always come back up. So don't think twice. Now don't wait for perfection either. Whatever you can achieve, whatever you can do with the little resources you have, just plunge into it. And then one person keys into it, another woman will join you. Even if you're running the journey alone, like by yourself, and it's all weird, you're taking the backlash, you're fighting the barriers by yourself, just keep pressing, just keep pushing.
You're the future. You're the next change maker. Go for it. Happy Women's Month.